Hey, this is Mark Moore, aka Tuxedo Mark, at various places on the internet. It's 11:53 a.m. according to a computer clock on Friday, July 31st, 2015. And this is my review of original Sailor Moon anime episode number 49, or episode number 3 of Sailor Moon R. For whom is the white rose? The moonlight knight appears. This episode originally aired in Japan on March 20th, 1993. And the first thing that I want to mention, and I forgot to mention this last time, is both this episode and the previous episode have no pre-title scene. Like, there's sometimes a short scene before the episode title appears. Well, this episode and the previous one didn't have it, but the first episode of the season did. I don't know how often there's going to be a pre-title scene, but I just want to make note of that. Okay, so in this episode, the recurring plot type thing is that there's an upcoming math test tomorrow, and Usagi hasn't studied, and she's worried that she's going to fail. She wants Ami to teach her the answers or whatever, and how would Ami? No, I don't know. But anyway, and Mako kind of wants that too. But anyway, a Cardian attacks a guy, a very close friend of Mako named Shinozaki. He's more precious to her than any boyfriend could be because they grew up together and he's always been there for her. He gets attacked by a Cardian, his energy's drained. They rush into the hospital, and in the ambulance, they need Type O blood, and they're running low on it, but Mako's Type O, and she volunteers, so she gives a transfusion. Later on, they're at the hospital, and both Mako and Shinozaki are in bed. And Usagi offers to donate blood to Mako to make her feel better. It's not outright stated, but I guess that would mean that Usagi is blood type O as well. You know what, I think she had mentioned that in the Usagi narrative segments in Season 1. I'm a Cancer with blood type O. Okay. You know what, I think she was born in June if she's a Cancer. So if a year has passed already, she must have turned 15 sometime during the first season. So why is she still saying that she's 14 in the upcoming episode preview from the beginning of this season? The timeline makes no sense, but it gets worse. Hang on. So when Mako's telling Usagi the story of her and Shinozaki, there's a flashback that's silent where it's raining, and apparently it's not stated, but I think what happened is... it is stated. Mako says she's been dumped for the upteenth time. Some boyfriend runs out on her and she's standing in a gazebo while it's raining. Shinozaki offers Mako the use of his umbrella. Now, there's an umbrella lying down on the floor of the gazebo, which I assume is Mako's. Why she didn't just use that, I don't know, unless it's broken or something. But, yeah. Also, there's a song playing. It's Sailor Jupiter's Image song. It's Anata no Se Janai. I forgot to get the translation of that. Sorry, but, it's performed by Emi Shinohara, Sailor Jupiter's voice actor. And if you recall, in the original Deke English dub of this episode from 1995, the episode title was called A Night to Remember, and the song that they used was Rainy Day Man by Patricia Tollett. She was basically Sailor Jupiter's English dub singer from the old Deke days, although she sang only that one song, I think. And I love that song. It's a nice song, too, and goes well with the scene. There's a meeting the next day at Hikawa Shrine. They figure it can't be the Dark Kingdom because they've been destroyed, and maybe it has something to do with that meteor crash, and it's stated that it happened 2 weeks ago. And that episode had actually aired 2 weeks earlier, so it looks like this season's kind of moving in real time. Usagi is late for the meeting or whatever. She's trying to jog Mamoru's memory because An is flirting with Mamoru, and also Alan, sorry, I'm using his Deke dub name, Isle is flirting with Usagi. So he's into her, and yeah. So Usagi had stayed up instead of studying for her test. She stayed up to make drawings illustrating the history of Endymion and Serenity and all of that stuff. As she shows him the drawings, and he just walks away from both her and An. He's like, just, screw these girls. An chases after him. But anyway, later on, it's time for the Jupiter's weak, but they have to go and fight the Guardian. Usagi tells her to go home and get some rest. She appreciates it, but she wants to defeat the Guardian anyway for Shinozaki. So there's this one part when Mach actually tells the Guardian that it's interfering with their studying for a major math test. She says, like, my friends and I are studying for this upcoming math test, and you're interfering. And I think she means just herself, Usagi, and Ami, because Rei and Minako attend different schools. But anyway, there's a major timeline fail in this episode, and it's this. In the first scene, which takes place at night when Usagi's trying to get Ami to give her the answers or whatever, she says the math test is tomorrow. Then later on that night, after the whole business with the Guardian attacking Shinozaki and Usagi's back home and she's doing her drawings, Luna says there's a meeting at Hikawa Shrine tomorrow to deal with the recent incident. So tomorrow afternoon or in the morning or whatever at Hikawa Shrine, there's a meeting. And then that night it's mentioned also that there's a big math test tomorrow. And then after the Guardian's been defeated, we see a scene the next day, I guess, at the hospital. It's daylight when Shinozaki is discharged, and Mako doesn't want to go and say hello to him because he's always looked up for her from a distance, so she's going to do the same for him today. So then that night, Usagi's trying to figure out the relationship between Mako and Shinozaki, and Luna mentions there's the upcoming math test tomorrow. So on 3 separate nights it's mentioned that the math test is tomorrow. 2 full days have passed in the course of this episode, and every night they say the math test is tomorrow. What the heck? Anyway, Mamoru still doesn't remember anything, but you gotta wonder if he has some kind of holes in his memory and if he ever wonders about it. But anyway, this guy, an Arabian
dressed looking dude called the Moonlight Knight appears, and he looks like Mamoru. He's got the black hair and everything, and he sounds like Mamoru, and he sounds like Tuxedo Mask, but he's got like this veil or covering over his mouth. He throws white roses, and he saves Sailor Moon, and she's like, this must be Endymion. At least she figured that much out. Duh. But anyway, yeah, so now we've got the Moonlight Knight saving Usagi by throwing white roses instead of red roses. Okay. The next episode preview, it's interesting that Usagi mentions that there's a Cardian attacking, and she calls it a Cardian, which she's not supposed to know yet, unless she learns the term in the next episode, but anyway, I don't think they've heard the term Cardian in the previous 2 episodes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they know that term yet. Anyway, this is a nice episode. It moves things along a bit. We get some nice backstory on Mako. The interesting thing about Blood Type O is it's universal. You can donate to anybody. So with Mako and Usagi being Blood Type O, is there some kind of significance to it? I mean, I know that there's something in Japanese culture about, blood types being indicative of something. Could anyone let me know what Blood Type O means? Anyway, so that's it, and it was a nice episode, and it's 12:05 p.m. and thanks for watching.